I just thought I'd talk about some of the recent Ark news. For example, with the concept art. Since concept art is becoming a regular thing, I wanted to wait until there was more than just one or two. And now there are other things that I want to briefly mention as well, so I thought by now I had enough to make this. Side note, while working on this, it was announced that the roadmap will be March 31st. Ignore any time when I mention that we don't know when it will be. The first thing is this roadmap. It was mentioned in February, so it is supposed to happen sometime this month. It was described as a roadmap for the Ark franchise. No further information was given, however, this makes it seem like it's going to be more than just the games. I want to take the time to speculate on what I think could be included. A disclaimer, none of this has been officially stated by Wildcard. These are just my personal ideas. These two seem to be the most likely, Ark 2 and Ark the Animated Series. Both are supposed to be out this year, and maybe there will be more information about that. I am really hoping for a release date for the series. And for Ark 2, maybe the roadmap will say when we could expect first gameplay footage, even if it isn't exact. Even if it's just a month, I would take that. The next thing that comes to mind is the Unreal Engine 5 Ark update, first hinted at with this meme, and a side note, these specific Bob expressions did not appear in the trailer. I know it's not that exciting, but to me, any new image from the show is, even if it's just something like this, something that could have been made specifically for the meme. And it does seem like the update is a thing that will be happening, but there has not been much information on when to expect this yet. There are also things like Ark on the Switch with more maps that could still be added, and there might be more happening with Survival of the Fittest. I haven't been paying too much attention to both of those things to know what has been happening. Maybe even things like the mobile game or Pixark. Bring back Ark Park. And also the potential movies that have been hinted at a couple of times, once in an interview and once by Vin Diesel himself. The movies are something that have interested me, and I would like to talk about those in the future. But also I might wait to see if this roadmap has any information about them, depending on how long writing the script for that takes. The next thing I want to mention is the Ark 2 concept art. The first being a new creature, for Ark 2 at least, the Stegosaurus. I am a fan of this design. It fits perfectly with Ark's over-exaggerated style. It's got more plates and spikes than the original, and I like that they've just fully embraced the idea that these creatures are going to have a lot of spikes. Also, I like the colors, and the Brachiosaurus, which did not appear in the first Ark game, at least not in the same way that most other creatures did. It was the skin for the archaeology event that could be used on a Brontosaurus, and I think this one is a huge improvement from that one. Also, if Brachiosaurus is in Ark 2, does that mean it was canonically on the Genesis ship? It was in the trailer, but in the distance, so it is nice to see a closer look at it. There are more of these birds in the art too. I am looking forward to exploring the environments. The Brachiosaurus shows just how massive these trees are, and I am excited to see what it is like in game. Also the Carnotaurus, which I really like a lot. It looks very menacing, and the environment here seems to be different. It looks like a field reminiscent of something that's in Lost Island. The raptor is there too, at least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It does seem small, but it resembles the trailer raptors a lot. And this is concept art. And finally, Araneomorphus. This was released while I was working on this, and it was not a creature I was expecting, but it is a pleasant surprise. One thing to point out is that I don't think it was on the Eden Ring, which might mean the possibility of returning creatures from other places. Or this could be a different creature, a spider-like alien, and that makes me wonder what type of alien creatures we could see in Ark 2 that didn't come from the ship, but were rather already there. My assumption is that the lizard from the teaser is also one of them. This spider is described as the last remnant of an ancient power, which does bring to mind the broodmother. I don't think it is a broodmother. It says it's the Araneo, but those two were related somehow in Ark 1, I think. I'm not sure if it was ever said that the species were actually related, or that they just live in the same caves, with the Araneos being present in the broodmother's arena. There is a human skeleton along with a creature skeleton, which shows the size of this spider. It has its babies on its back, which was said to not be just for show, leading me to believe that it is an important feature of this spider. Then there is the art showing different weapon combinations for the swords and shields, and it illustrates how customizable they will be. This was mentioned before, and I think it will be interesting. I hope the same amount of customization will be allowed in base decorations too. The first Ark game without mods does not have many options. I also like the idea of unique resources, though imagine misplacing a custom weapon that you designed with a really rare resource. Carcharodontosaurus is coming to the Switch version of Ark. That's it. That's all I want to say on that. There's a new Dino Discovery map, which is really surprising to me. I was not expecting that, especially so soon. This one is particularly interesting since it does not seem to be based on any existing Ark map. I haven't played it, and I'm not sure what creatures appeared on the original to see if there are any new ones, but this map shows a bunch of them. The One Who Waits has voice notes now on, I think, most of the platforms. There is a new Pixark DLC. I figured I would just mention that since it's canon now. And this seems to have gone relatively unnoticed amid all of the animated series news. It is called Wonder in Water, and there seems to be a focus on underwater building with structures very similar to Ark's tech, and ocean creatures, some that are familiar and others that are less familiar. The description of continue the fight against the Cobalt aliens, who now control an army in the mysterious Cobalt Star battlefield, makes it seem like there is an ongoing story with these aliens. I'm not too familiar with the game because I have not played it much, and I did not think there was a story, but now I am intrigued. From what I have seen, the Cobalt is similar to tech. Also, a dinosaur documentary stole Ark models. This was after the Forest Titan appeared in the movie,